Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Alexis Way Yoga. I am so very glad that you've decided to join me today. Our practice today will be a full Vinyasa flow class. So we will be doing lots of fun things, including balance, and we will end out our practice with a Savasana. Now, I do highly recommend blocks, 2 of them, for this practice. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and roll out your mat, grab your blocks, and we'll flow right into it. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another week of yoga. Sending that right foot back. Now we will be starting our practice down on the floor, finding a comfortable place to sit, whatever that means to you and your body today. We're going to start with a little bit of breath work to bring us to this space and back into our bodies. We'll close the eyes as we start to take a little deeper of breaths, both in and out. As we start to notice the floor that we're sitting on. As we start to press the sit bones into the earth so that we can sit a little taller through the spine, lifting up through the top of the head. We'll drop the shoulders a little further down, away from the ears. Softening the muscles of the face, of the neck, and of the shoulders. Now we'll take a large breath in through the nose. Hold the breath in. Let the breath go. Hold. And then start over again with another breath in. So we'll continue to breathe like this, taking a pause for a second or two at the end and the beginning of the inhale. Maybe slowing the breath down a little further. Making those pauses a little bit longer. Maybe they match up for time with the in and out. Maybe breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4, and holding for a count of 4. Before starting all over again. We'll start to bring the breath back to a more neutral rhythm. Maybe removing the pauses at the beginning and the end of the inhale. Coming back to our more natural rhythm and pattern. As we bring our palms to our knees, Pressing the hips down to the earth, we'll start to spiral the hips, moving the upper body in large looping circles. And then we'll switch directions and circle the upper body around the other way. We'll come back through center again. Now, if your legs are crossed, notice which leg is out in front, because we'll switch out our legs and sit in almost the uncomfortable version of our cross-legged seat. Now we'll do the same thing, circling the upper body, large looping motions, shifting the chest forward over the legs, out to our sides, back, behind, and around. And again, we'll switch directions, circling around the other way. And coming back through center again. Now, if it is completely uncomfortable or weird to keep your legs how they are now, you can switch them back, but I do recommend keeping them in this way so that we kind of rebalance the body. We'll plant our left hand down beside us, and we'll breathe in as we reach the right hand up and over towards our left side. Come back through center, and then move to our other side. Moving back and forth at a pace that feels right to you and your body. It may make more sense to you to breathe in as you shift through center than it does as you curl to one side, and that's okay. You can switch it up. Pressing the hips down into the earth so we have a nice long side stretch. Now we'll bring the hands out in front as we start to soften the body backwards behind so we can balance on the sit bones. As we lift the feet up off the mat, untwist them and move through our boat pose. So we're engaging through the core. We'll pivot our feet in so the bottoms of the feet are reaching together as we slowly set them down to the floor in front of us. And then we'll sit the body back up, drop the knees down, bring the bottoms of the feet in, sit up tall through the sit bones. And with our exhale, we'll hinge forward, softening the chest between the legs. Now we also have an option to slide the forearms underneath of the ankles to help draw us a little bit closer to the feet. But we can also keep the arms on top of the legs and the hands on the feet. With an inhale, we'll start to shift back up, and we'll take our left hand around the outside of our right foot, wrapping it around as we start to shift back. We can use our right hand behind the body to help with the balance here. As we lengthen out through that right leg, we're getting a little bit of a twisting motion so that we're pulling that IT band for a nice stretch. Now we'll put a bend back into the right. As we pick up the left knee towards the ceiling, we'll droop the ankle over. So we're in our figure 4 now. Now we can slide the left leg in closer to bring the side of our right leg in towards the chest. And we can find a little bit of rocking here of the legs side to side. Now we'll drop that right foot all the way down to our left side, sitting us up. We'll bring our left hand up and over, connect the elbow and the knee, lengthen the arm, and we'll twist over to our right side, looking over our right shoulder. Now untwisting, we'll take that left hand up and over in a large rainbow shape towards the back of our mat. We'll lengthen our left leg long towards the top. Inhale the right arm up as we lift the left hip up off the mat, reaching the hips up towards the ceiling. Now with an exhale, we'll lower the left hip down towards the floor. And with our inhale, we'll lift back up. Exhale to lower. And one more time. Inhale, we'll lift back up. Exhale to lower. Now grabbing for the outside of the leg, we'll wrap our left arm around the ankle, bringing the leg in towards the chest again for a little rocking side to side. Before letting go of the leg, we'll let it float out in front of us as we engage through the core. We'll bring the left leg up as well, holding here in our boat pose. Before we pivot, the hips open, knees go away, bottoms of feet come together. We'll set the feet down towards the mat, sit us up, and we'll soften forward in our diamond pose again. As before, we can thread the forearms underneath of the legs, or we can keep them on top. But we're shifting the spine long as we're hinging from the hips. Now maybe adding some breath work in here. With our inhale, lengthening out through the spine. And with our exhale, softening into the space that the breath was. With our inhale, we'll start to shift back up again, bringing our right hand to the top of the foot, of the left foot, wrapping the hands around. We'll lift the hips up, plant the left hand back behind as we lengthen the left leg. Again, we're finding that nice stretch here. We can gently twist if that helps, or we can guide that foot a little further towards the right side of our mat. And we'll add a little more of a bend to our left knee as we draw it across the body, setting it down on the right side. Now sending our right arm up towards the ceiling, we'll connect our elbow and knee. Lengthen the arm to gently press into the knee to help us twist and turn to look over our left shoulder. With our inhale, start to lift up again, reaching our right arm up and over until it is behind the body at the back of our mat. We'll lengthen our right leg longer. Press into our left foot. Inhale, lift the hips up off the mat, reach them tall. Exhale to settle them down. We'll do two more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale to soften us back down. We'll reach our arm around our left leg, Shifting around to bring the right arm up as well. We'll hug the leg into the chest as we rock it side to side. Now letting go of the leg, letting the knee point down to the toe to the top of the mat. As we bring our arms alongside, engage through the core, reach long through the spine. As we lift up our right leg as well to our boat pose again. Now slowly start to lengthen out, reaching with the toes, long through the neck, through the spine as we lower down. We'll circle the arms up overhead, full body stretch. Reach with the fingers, reach with the toes. Take up space, fully fill the lungs with air. Good. Now you may notice that you have a space in your low back that's not touching the floor. We'll circle the arms down along the body as we bring the feet up, lifting the hips, tucking them forward and settling them down so we're nice and flat to the ground. Before we bring knees to chest and roll into a ball, lifting the chin to chest and off the back of the head. And we can start to rock side to side. And then maybe we could start to rock forward and back. And we're going to make our way to standing from here so we can rock us forward onto our feet to lift to standing from there. Or we can rock all the way to our side to plant the hands down, lock them in, and make our way to standing from here. Now, whichever way we went, we'll find a Tadasana, a mountain pose, bringing the ankles under the knees, under the hips, lifting the shoulders, working them back and down the spine, rotating the palms forward so the shoulders draw back. We'll lift up the toes, spread them out wide, and plant them down, gently drawing the chin in slightly, so that we have a long spine, long line of energy from our feet through the top of our head. We'll close the eyes and come back to our breath, grounding down into the floor. Now, maybe with our eyes closed, we start to wiggle side to side. Maybe moving in a figure 8 with the hips. Or rocking forward and back on the feet. Allowing our balance to warm up. Bottoms of the feet start adjusting to our movements, wiggling out through the body. Warming up the ankles, the knees, the hips. Now, if you say this is really, really hard with your eyes closed, go ahead and open them. That is okay too. Our balance is a lot harder with our eyes closed. That is for sure, unless it is something that you actively practice. We'll come back through center. And if your eyes are closed, you can open them now as we breathe in through the nose, sending the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, we'll hinge from the waist, swan diving the chest forward. Inhale for a halfway lift, reaching forward with the crown of the head. Exhale, we'll fold forward again, nodding the head yes. And shaking the head no, releasing out the upper body and allowing yourself to hang here. Pressing down through your toes. Now we'll imagine that our hands and the top of our head are really heavy. As we add a little more bend to the knees, we'll use our back as we slowly roll one vertebrae up past the next to bring us back to a standing position, lifting the head, the neck, the shoulders up last. And then we can roll the shoulders out. Or we can find some shoulder shrugs, some neck rolls at the top, finding a little more movement here. And then we'll come back to our breath with an inhale, sending the arms up tall. Exhale, bowing the chest forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Reverse swan dive the arms. We'll draw the arms out nice and wide as we lift up from the chest, reaching towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge from the waist, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We'll plant the hands down. Step, hop, or float the feet back, finding a plank pose. Now we're spreading those fingertips out nice and wide, and we're gripping with the fingers. So you may notice that this middle knuckle is lifting up off the mat. That's what we want, holding and gripping with the hands. And we'll start to shift a little further forward, coming onto our tippy toes, bringing our shoulders past our wrists. Now we'll lower to the floor. You can always drop your knees first. Inhale for a baby cobra. Exhale to soften. Tucking the toes, we'll shift back up to our plank before sending the hips up and back, down dog. Now wiggling out however you like here in your down dog. We can pedal out the legs. We can swivel the hips. You can find a slight bouncing to the legs. And when we're ready, we'll pick our left leg up off the mat, sending it up and back behind the body. We'll circle the ankle out in one direction, and then around in the other. Now we'll draw knee to nose as we shift and roll forward, stepping our left foot at the top of our mat. Now grabbing for those blocks, we'll bring them on either side of our mat, out beside the left foot. With our inhale, we'll press evenly through both feet, and we'll shift up so that the chest is over the hips. We'll send the arms to the ceiling and move to our crescent lunge. Take a few breaths here to find the balance. If you're feeling unsteady, move your front foot out to the left a little further. You don't have to be in a perfect line. You can have a wider stance. And for some hips, that is a lot more comfortable and more balanced. Now with our exhale, we'll hinge from the waist, reaching the arms out in front. And we can keep the hands reaching out like this, or we can airplane them back behind the body. We're finding that forward shift, pressing evenly through both feet, still sending that right heel back behind. Good. With an inhale, we'll lift up again. Reach the hands to the ceiling. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. We'll press the hands against each other. And we're going to find a twist to the upper body. So thinking hips, thinking belly button, as we start to turn to the left side of our mat. With our inhale, we'll move back through center, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling as we continue to pivot and open, turning our back foot so it's perpendicular with our front as we find our warrior two. Leading towards the pinky edge side of both feet to keep the hips open. Now we'll drop our left elbow to our left leg as we send our right arm up and over. With our next inhale, we'll reverse. Lifting the body up and over, our left hand comes over the body to sweep towards the back of the mat. We'll do one more of each. Exhale, reach the right hand forward. Inhale up and over, and send that left hand to the back. Inhale back through center, and we'll extend our left leg towards straight. Hips will go back behind so we can reach our left hand way out in front of our toes before we start to hinge and come down. Now grabbing for one of our blocks, we can set it down on the inside of our left leg as we reach our right hand up tall, finding our triangle pose. With our exhale, we'll circle our right hand all the way out to the side, down and around until our chest is down towards the floor. Now we'll switch out our hands and plant our right hand on top of the block where the left was. And with an inhale, we'll find our twisted triangle pose by sending our left hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinging and circling around. We'll grab our other block with our left hand. We can scoot our right hand block out of our way as we add more of a bend into our left leg. We'll reach our left hand block out in front of the toes. And from here, we'll move to our half moon pose. Lengthening our left leg. Our right leg floats up and back. We're flexing through the right toes so they reach to our side mat. And we'll send our right hand up tall. Now bringing the eyes to the floor if they aren't already, as we circle our right hand down and around to bring the chest to the ground. With our inhale, we'll lift up off the block. Guide our right knee all the way out in front of the body. Reach it up nice and tall to the ceiling. And then we'll circle our ankle out a few times. And then we'll circle it around in the other direction. And then we'll set that right leg down. And we'll reset. And we'll wiggle out. We'll make our way back to the top of our mat. With an in-breath, reach the arms up tall. Exhale, we'll hinge from the waist, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse, swan dive the arms. We'll lift up towards standing. Exhale, hinge from the waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. We'll step, hop, or float the feet back to our plank. Spread the fingertips out nice and wide. And we're going to make our way to our down dog with a flow. Whatever flow you want to do. You can do your chaturanga to an up dog or cobra. Or you can send your hips back for a child's pose before lengthening the legs and moving to a down dog. Finding a flow that works for you and your body. And then getting to your down dog and wiggling out in a way that feels good. And then we'll lift our right leg up and back behind. And we'll circle the ankle out in one direction and around in the other. We'll bend the knee, draw knee to nose as we shift forward. And step the right foot down at the top of the mat. Now bringing the blocks on either side of our right foot, frame it out. We'll press evenly through the feet. And with our inhale, we'll lift up to our crescent lunge. Pressing down through both feet. Pressing our back heel back and down so we're strong through our left leg. We'll take a moment here to find the balance. Just catch the breath. And then we'll move to our humble warrior. Reaching forward with the hands hinging from the waist. And we can stay here with our arms out in front of the body. Or we can sweep them back behind in an airplane. With an inhale, we'll lift the upper body back up. Hands to the ceiling. And with our exhale, we'll bring hands to heart center. We'll find our twist again, keeping our base nice and stable. We're thinking lower abdomen first as we twist towards our right side. And then we can twist open through the shoulders a little further. Now untwisting, sending the arms up. And we'll pivot around to our warrior two. With an exhale, we'll bring our right elbow to our right leg and send our left arm up and over to the front of the mat. And then inhale, we'll send the upper body up and over. Reach the right hand to the back of our mat. And we'll do one more of each. And then we'll move back to our neutral warrior two. Now extending our right leg towards straight. Hips go back behind. We'll lengthen the hand out in front as we bring it down to our block. And send the left arm up, triangle pose. Now with our exhale, we'll circle our left hand all the way around to pivot the chest down towards the floor. We'll swap out hands, so our left hand is now on the block as we lift our right hand up for our twisted triangle pose. Exhale, we'll circle around. Grab for our right-handed block. Now we'll add a little more bend into our right leg as we pick up our right block. Move it out in front of the toes. And then we'll pivot onto our tippy toes of our left as we start to lift the left leg up. Flex through the foot. Reach the left hand up. Half moon pose. We'll circle our left hand down to bring the chest towards the floor as we start to lift up. And we'll bring our left knee out in front of the chest. Reach it up tall. We'll circle the ankle out in one direction. And then around in the other. And we'll wiggle out as we set it down. And again, reset. We'll do that flow one more time on each side. So with a nice big breath in, we'll send the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge from the waist, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands down, step, hop, or float the feet back. We'll do our flow to get to a down dog. And then we'll send the left leg up and back. Draw the left foot to the top of the mat, set it down. We'll take a full breath in. And an even larger breath back out. Press down through the feet. Inhale to our crescent lunge. With our exhale, we'll hinge to our humble warrior. Sweep the arms up and back behind. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, we'll twist open. Exhale through center. Inhale to our warrior two. Exhale to reach forward with the right hand. Inhale up and over the body, reach to the back of the mat. Exhale up and over, reach to the front. Inhale up and over, reverse warrior. And back to our neutral warrior two. Take a few breaths. With our inhale, we'll lengthen out. With our exhale, we'll hinge to our triangle pose. With an exhale, we'll circle the arm around. Plant it down. With an inhale, we'll find our reverse triangle. With our exhale, we'll bring the hands down. We'll take a moment as we get ready for our half moon pose. Moving up with our in-breath. Taking a few deep breaths. With our exhale, we'll circle the hand around. With an inhale, we'll draw the right knee out in front of the body. And with our exhale, we'll set it down. Now wiggle out. Again, take a few breaths to reset. Now one more time on our right. With an in-breath, we'll send the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands down, step, hop, or float back. We'll find a flow that works for you to send us back to our down dog. With an inhale, we'll send our right leg up and back. Exhale to bring the foot to the top of our mat. Full breath in. Even larger breath back out. With our inhale, we'll lift to our crescent lunge. To our exhale, our humble warrior, sweep the arms up and back behind. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to twist. Exhale to untwist. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale to reach the left hand up and over. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale to reach the left hand to the top of the mat. Inhale, up and over, reach back with the right. Exhale to our warrior two, lengthen out. Exhale to hinge, triangle pose. Inhale, reach the top hand up. Exhale, we'll circle the left hand down and around. Inhale, reach the right hand up. Exhale to come back around. Now we'll find the balance. Reach forward with the right hand block. Inhale to lift up. We'll take a few deep breaths. Exhale to soften the chest down towards the floor. And with our inhale, we'll lead the left knee out in front of the body. Exhale to soften it down. And we'll wiggle out. Now we can move our blocks out of our way for a little while. And wiggle out through the body. We'll make our way back to the top of the mat. With an inhale, sending the arms up. Exhale, hinging from the waist, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step, hop, or float back to our plank. Optional flow as we move to our down dog. Take a moment to wiggle out. Now we'll slide the hands in a hand's distance to 6 inches closer towards the toes. We'll take the feet just a little further out. We'll bend the knees, and we'll really send the hips up and back behind. And then we'll start to shift forward so that our shoulders are over our wrists. We're gripping with the fingertips. We'll bend the knees, rocking forward onto the tippy toes. So we're in our floating tabletop here. The knees are hovering over the mat. We're holding and gripping strong. Now we'll take the knees a little further out. As we drop the knees down to the ground, we'll pivot the toes in to touch or point at each other. As we slide the left hand underneath of the chest. With a nice big breath in, we'll send our right arm up towards the ceiling. And with our exhale, we'll thread our right arm through our left arm and left leg, bringing the shoulder inside of face down. We'll circle our left hand back around if we've moved it anywhere, pressing into the earth to help us unthread our right arm. We'll send it up towards the ceiling before we'll bring it down. Now full in and out breath cycle to reset. And then with our next in-breath, we'll send our left arm up. Exhale to thread the left arm through our right side. Soften the shoulder inside of face down. We'll press our right hand into the earth to give us the space again to untwist. Left arm up. Exhale, we'll bring it down. Moving the hands a little bit further than they have been away from the body. Grip into the hands. We'll tuck the toes under. We'll lift back up to our floating tabletop. Bringing the knees underneath of the hips. Pressing the ground away from the body. And then we'll drop the knees the rest of the way down, untuck the toes with our in-breath. We'll shine the chest forward, turn the hips up and lower the stomach. With our exhale, we'll reverse, curling into center, bringing chin to chest, tucking the hips under. And we'll move back and forth with the breath. And then we'll come back through center. And we can keep the legs where they are, or we can take the knees out a little bit further. But we'll move to a child's pose from here, sending the hips back towards the heels. We'll keep the arms out in front of the body as we soften the chest towards the floor or towards our legs, and then bring the forehead or the top of the head down to the earth. Now we'll start to walk the hands towards the right side of the mat, pressing the hips down. We'll walk the hands through center to the left side of the mat. And we'll walk through center again, pressing into the palms to draw us forward. We'll cross the ankles. We'll walk the hands in, and we'll roll up and over the feet. Now scooting towards the center of our mat. We'll take the legs out in front. And we're going to give them a little bit of a bouncing out, a little wiggling out. Now engaging all the way up the legs. We'll point the toes up to the ceiling, drawing the kneecaps in and up. Your heels may lift, they may not. Sitting up tall on the sit bones and reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Now we'll take a little bit of time here to work on our posture. With our exhale, start to notice. And with our inhale, we'll lift up a little bit taller. Reaching the hands towards the ceiling, shifting the chest forwards, or working our hip flexors. And with an exhale, we'll bring our hands down, and I'll start to walk the bottoms of the feet in. Now engaging the core, still sitting tall through the spine, as we shift a little further back, so we can balance on the sit bones as we move to our boat pose. Bringing the arms on either side of the legs. We can always keep our big toes down for balance. We can bring our shins parallel to the floor, or we can fully extend the legs out long. Breathing through any wigglies that your body may have. And then we'll start to extend out longer and longer until we're lowered all the way down to the floor in our full body stretch. Reach at the toes, reach with the hands, wiggle out the hips. And then we'll circle the arms down to the body as we walk the bottoms of the feet in, lifting and tucking the hips so we're planted firmly on the earth. We'll heel toe the feet out further And we'll start to windshield wiper the knees side to side. And we'll lift the knees up towards the ceiling. We'll bring the left knee into the chest and wrap the arms around it, hug it in nice and tight as we extend our right leg all the way out and set it down. Now we'll guide that left knee into a gentle twist, moving it over towards the right side of our mat, pressing the shoulder blades down to the earth as we open our left shoulder. And we can take the eyes over to our left hand or keep them up towards the ceiling. Slowly untwisting the spine, we'll guide the left knee back to the chest. Wrap the arms around and give a nice big squeeze to the body. Now we'll let go of the left leg and hover it here, knee at a 90-degree angle. We'll lift our right leg up and bring it alongside our left. We'll hold it here. We also have an option to bring our palms to just below the knees and press the knees into the hands and the hands into the knees. And then we'll release any added pressure as we bring our right knee to the chest. Extend the left leg long and lower it down. We'll find a gentle twist on this side, drawing our right knee over to our left side, opening up our right shoulder, and our eyes can stay up or follow our right hand. Start to untwist again. Wrap the arms around the right leg. Bring it in for a nice big squeeze. And then we'll let go of the leg. Bring it up to float the shin over the mat. We'll bring the left up as well so that they're next to each other. We've got that 90-degree angle in the legs. And then we can use the hands again, bringing the palms to just below the knees, gently pressing the hands into the legs back into the hands. And we'll let go of any added pressure and wrap the arms around both legs, hugging them into the chest. This time we can keep the back of the head down on the mat, or we can pick chin to chest, lifting the back of the head up as we find a little rocking side to side, moving around, massaging out the low back. And then when we're feeling ready, we'll let go of the legs. We'll let go of the arms. We'll make our way to a comfortable position in the body to take our moment of rest, to find our Savasana. Doing anything you need here to make yourself just a little bit more comfortable. Maybe that means grabbing for a blanket, putting your socks back on. Then we'll close the eyes. We'll allow the shoulders to move a little further away from the ears and droop down to the earth. We'll allow the muscles of the face to soften. We'll unclench the jaw and maybe wiggle it side to side. We'll soften the eyes. We'll let the feet fall away from each other. Find a comfortable spot to calm and still the body. Slow down the breath and to let all other thoughts drift away. Now we can come back to our box breathing that we did at the beginning of the class. Breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, and then starting over with an in breath for 4. Continuing this way, adding that pause at the beginning and the end of the in breath. Or we can bring our awareness to making our exhales twice as long as our inhales. Breathing in for a count of 3 or 4. And then exhaling for a count of 6 or 8. Finding a breathing practice that works for you as you allow your body to be heavy. All other thoughts to float away. For you to focus just on your breath for a little while. Bring another large breath in through the nose. Let the breath go from the mouth. Start to invite some movement back into the body by wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes. Now when you are feeling ready, go ahead and roll to one side or the other. We'll take a moment for gratitude here. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today, for taking this time out of your day to refocus your thoughts, to move your body, and to bring yourself the peace, quiet, and stillness that truly only you can gift to yourself. Give yourself a nice big mental or physical hug. And then again, when you are feeling ready, you can start to make your way to a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall on the sit bones. We'll drop one hand down beside our body as we reach our other arm up and over for side bend. Inhale up through center, and we'll switch sides. And then again, with an inhale, we'll move back through center again. Bringing hands to heart center. We'll close the eyes one last time as we bring a large breath in through the nose. And let it go as a collective sigh. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It is always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go in love, go in light, go in peace, and go in joy. Now, if you have made it all the way through this practice, drop me a rubber ducky emoji down below so I know that you made it all the way through. Let me know what you thought about it, and be sure that you hit the like and subscribe buttons and share to your friends. You can also follow the link down there to my Patreon if you would like another way to support me. I really appreciate you. Thank you.